From DSTI in the Department of Science and Awareness, we have Mr. Isaac Ramovha, who are allowed to introduce himself so that he can share his thoughts about this conference. Mr. Can you please introduce yourself?
Okay, thank you. I'm Isaac Ramovha. I'm from the Department of Science, Technology and Innovation. I am part of a team responsible for science engagement.
Okay. So can you please tell us, how does DSTI support science centers, also SAASTEC, in reaching their goals or aims?
Let me say that science centers are part of the broader stakeholder base involved in the implementation of the science engagement strategy. In that regard, we provide them with several forms of support. These comprise capacity building initiatives, largely meant to enhance their skills to communicate science, but also equipping them with the basic skills to manage science centers, because you can't divorce the two skills areas from each other collectively. Yes. That is what make a science center capable of delivering on its responsibilities. We further provide science centers with what we refer to as programmatic funding. Okay. This is basically project funding, wherein science centers identify projects that they require us to assist them financially. There are instances where we are able to provide full funding, but in many instances, because financial resources are never enough, we end up providing part funding for such projects. And this kind of funding is accessible to science centers that have subjected themselves to an accreditation process. Okay. And have been graded accordingly. Every year through SAASTEC, they submit their proposals. Their proposals are assessed, and on the basis of the assessment outcomes, then they access the necessary funding. We also have an initiative which we refer to as the DSTI, National Youth Service. This is a National Youth Service initiative that is based on the National Youth Policy. In this initiative, through a number of host institutions, including science centers, we accommodate for a period of 12 months unemployed graduates, largely in the areas of science, technology, and mathematics, where they get an opportunity to provide service to the community as volunteers, while on monthly basis they receive stipends to enable them to meet their day-to-day needs. Yes. So science centers also participate in this initiative by hosting these graduate volunteers. But at the same time, it is a support to science centers, because it provides them with some human resource needs relief. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that is very true. So I heard you mentioning that sometimes the funding is not enough, and I wanted to ask you: are there other challenges besides funding that you guys get as you're trying to make this science awareness in South Africa?
Look, challenges would always be there. Usually, the biggest challenge would be funding. We are not cushioned from the challenges that are currently financial challenges that are currently experienced within the public sector. So we don't have enough funding. But to complain about enough or not enough funding is one thing, because it also has to do with whether you are able to use what you currently have. Now, I would say one of the biggest challenges that we are currently experiencing, despite the money issue, because the money issue, yes, it will never go away. Yeah, and we shouldn't put it on top of the list, I think. Yeah. It's I think ever since I've had associations with the science center community, one of the biggest challenge that I've seen is they would say, if you ask them, what do you need? What is your biggest challenge? They would say, funding. Yes, but then if you say to them, okay, it's fine. What do you want to be funded? What do you want to see as funding? They struggle to come up with exactly what they need to see being funded. So there is a discussion that needs to happen within individual science centers in order for them on individual basis to be able to identify exactly what their needs are. But this is something that we have started, that discussion we have started, because if you participate in this voluntary accreditation process that I made reference to earlier on, the outcome of that process shows, among other things, the developmental gaps that your science center require. And in response to that, a tailor-made developmental plan has to be developed. And that plan would then identify the needs that needs to be tackled over a period of time. At least that process is relatively new at the moment, but that is the process in which we hope that it's going to provide us with a solution to get science centers, as individual science centers, to be able to know what they need to be funded, what they need to be supported on.